For so long, gene editing has felt like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, right? Well, 2026 is the year that all changes. It's when that promise gets its first massive real-world test. We're going to dig into how one of the pioneers, CRISPR Therapeutics, is trying to make that huge leap from being a brilliant research lab to becoming a full-blown commercial powerhouse.
You know, we throw around that term medical revolution all the time. But what does one actually look like when it's happening? I mean, it's definitely not just some single light bulb moment in a lab, that's for sure.
It's really that messy, complicated, but totally fascinating point where incredible breakthrough science has to prove that it can work as a real-world business. And for CRISPR, that moment is happening right now.
So, right in the middle of this whole story is CRISPR Therapeutics. They've really evolved from just a research pioneer to a true industry leader. And this year, wow, so many different parts of their company are hitting these absolutely critical milestones all at once.
And get this, they are not starting from scratch. They're rolling into 2026 with a massive war chest of around $2 billion. I mean, that's a ton of fuel for some seriously ambitious plans. So, okay, let's break down exactly what they're up to.
All right, first things first, the most important piece of the puzzle, they have to successfully launch the world's first ever approved therapy that uses CRISPR. This is it. This is where the amazing science meets the road and has to prove it can work as a business.
And that therapy is called Casgevy. Now, this is a one-time treatment that could actually be a cure for two really devastating genetic blood disorders, sickle cell disease and beta thalassemia. And let's be clear, this is so much more than just a new drug. It is a genuine, historic milestone for medicine. And then there's the price tag. We're talking $2.2 million per patient. That makes Casgevy one of the most expensive one-time treatments, period. So you can imagine the stakes for everyone, the patients, the insurance companies, and of course, CRISPR itself, they're just unbelievably high. It really pulls back the curtain on how complicated the business side of a revolution like this can be. Yeah, this is nothing like just going to the pharmacy to pick up a prescription. The journey for a patient getting CSGV is a total logistical marathon. I mean, it can take up to a whole year. You need specialized centers, they have to collect the patient's own cells, ship them off to a lab, edit them, get the patient's body ready with conditioning, and only then do you have the infusion and recovery. It's a massive, massive undertaking. But here's the thing, even with all that complexity, the momentum is clearly building. Check this out. By the end of 2025, they already had around 300 patient referrals. Over 60 people had actually been infused with their new edited cells. That translated to over $100 million in revenue. And the expectation is that number is going to grow big time in 2026 as more and more patients get through that pipeline.
And the growth isn't stopping there. One of the biggest things to watch in 2026 is their plan to expand this treatment to younger patients. They're planning to go for approval for kids as young as 5 years old. Just think about that. It could open up this incredible, life-changing therapy to a whole new generation.
Okay, so commercializing that first drug, that's pillar one. But pillar two, this is where things start to feel even more like science fiction. We're talking about moving from editing cells in a lab to editing them directly inside the human body. So here's a really simple way to think about it. The way they do it now, ex vivo, it's kind of like taking a part out of your car, sending it to a workshop to get fixed, and then putting it back in. The next step, in vivo, is like having a team of microscopic mechanics go right inside the engine and fix the part while it's still in the car. It's an absolute game changer for the kinds of diseases they can go after. And which diseases are they targeting with this new on-site repair? Well, this is a really crucial shift. They're going from rare genetic disorders to some of the most common health problems on the planet. I'm talking high cholesterol, heart disease, even high blood pressure. These are conditions that affect hundreds of millions of people all over the world. And 2026 is the year this all goes from theory to actual practice. In the first half of the year, they're planning to kick off a clinical trial for hypertension. Then, around mid-year, a trial for a rare disease called AATD. These aren't just ideas anymore. They're real, tangible, critical steps. Okay, so they're commercializing a breakthrough therapy and building a whole new in vivo platform. You'd think that's more than enough for one company, right? Nope. There's a third pillar, and it's just as exciting. Using gene editing to basically give the entire immune system a complete reboot.
This part of their work is all about a therapy called zugocell. Now, it's a type of treatment called CAR-T, but the key here is that it's off the shelf. That means they don't have to make it from a patient's own cells, which is a huge deal.
Its whole job is to go in, find the B cells that have gone rogue in autoimmune diseases, and eliminate them. It's basically like hitting the reset button on the immune system.
And the early results? They are honestly stunning. Just listen to this. One of the first lupus patients they treated had already failed nine other therapies. They got a single treatment of Zugocel and went into remission. They've been drug-free for 9 months and counting. I mean, that's just an incredible real-world human impact right there.
And what's so powerful here is how versatile this therapy is. They're using the exact same technology, Zugocel, to treat B-cell cancers like lymphoma. And in some of those patients, it's showing a 70% complete response rate. It just goes to show how one single platform can be used to attack two totally different and very serious types of disease.
So let's step back and put this all together. You've got the huge commercial launch of Casgevy. You've got the brand new in vivo platform starting trials. And you've got this amazing immune reset therapy. All three of these massive efforts are hitting key moments this year. It's making 2026 a true proving ground for the entire company.
Okay, so this is the timeline you're going to want to watch. First half of the year, we're looking for the pediatric submission for Casgevy and the kickoff of that hypertension trial. Then, in the second half of the year, expect a whole cascade of new data from their other big programs. It is a jam-packed, totally pivotal schedule that is really going to define where this company goes next.
So why does all this matter? What's the big picture here? Well, first, it signals this huge strategic shift in medicine, right? From treating rare diseases to going after really common ones. Second, it's a massive test case for whether the whole business model of a multi-million-dollar one-time cure can actually work. And finally, it's about them solidifying their spot as a leader in what is, without a doubt, the future of medicine.
And that really brings us to the final thought here. For more than a decade now, we've all been talking about the potential of CRISPR. But now, with a real therapy approved and on the market, and a pipeline this deep, the question really isn't if this technology is going to change medicine anymore.
It's how fast is it going to grow, and how far is it going to reach into every corner of our health. In 2026, that's the year we start getting the first real answers to those huge questions.